All right, so I went through and I created these like master categories, which are basically these sections, and this was just to kind of get an initial outline of about when things need to be done. So these are expandable lists if you just keep it as the default view. So, and I tried to put them in order. It's not perfect because some things will span, but basically, so like 30 days prior to the start date, set up association to sync. I haven't assigned these to anybody because I wanted to get it just organized first, but I'll get all the different assignments done. So set up association in sync, and you can see this is something that happens week one. When we get to the next like fresh transition, what I'll end up doing is in the actual action item. So like let's say we have an association that starts let's say their contract start date is May 1st. We obviously need to set up the association 30 days prior. So I will click April 1st as the due date for that. And then that'll assign a due date. I have everything synced to my calendar. So for me, that'll be kind of how that works. And then, I also use the Motion app. So, like, for me in Motion, which is now syncing, so that's great. In Motion, under projects and tasks, so like in a property transition, I will also assign, I'll kind of update this, but I'll assign this way, at least for myself, because I do everything with my calendar. It'll put it on my calendar. I gave you access to Motion as well, so I will assign things in Motion to you, which will also put it on your calendar. I don't care if you can use Motion or not, because what we can do is if you don't do anything in Motion, what I'll do is I will for like my weekly check-in, I'll look and see what you've completed, and I'll go ahead and like knock off some of these tasks. So either way, it'll get completed. It's just I just organize myself the way that I do. So I don't want to force you to do it this way, but if this works for you, cool. But anyway, so I'll assign a due date here. And then you can kind of just go down the list. And I know, again, there's kind of like not a perfect way, but one reason I did these labels this way is so you can change your view. So there's in the view, if you want to sort, sorry, not sort, if you want to group, if you group by label, you can then see like, so these are all of the things that need to happen in the first week. And so anything that spans like to another week, so like this one I have is a week one, week two. This is a week two, week two. So like current year budget to sync. If you don't, like if for some reason this doesn't get completed in week one and you go down to week two, it'll show up here. But the other thing too is with the due dates, anything that's past the due date, which I'm trying to think, let's see if I have something I can show you. These aren't assigned. Administrative. Well, that's not a good example. But basically when there's stuff that's like past the due date, oh, here we go, in today, you can see like this one was due February 28th, so I had it or whatever. You'll also get a list of like past due items, so you can kind of see that. You also could change your view if you want. So this is the layout view, which is basically a list. So you can group by week. And this way too, hopefully this will kind of reduce some anxiety of when shit needs to get done. You can obviously like, I don't know, if something gets done, like if something's available sooner, you can check it off. It doesn't matter. Like if you look at week 3 and we already have the banking information, we can get that updated. Like it doesn't, you can always do stuff earlier, but if it's not ready, you don't have to start it till we get to that, item. Whoopsie. Um, Within the tasks too, so like we'll use vendor transition. I didn't create any subtasks here, but we can, or we can do it kind of on the fly. So like if you get a set of invoices and you know that there's like water bill, electric, blueprint. You can always add subtasks when you get the invoices and contracts and things, and then check them off. I just didn't want to, like, since every association's different, I just didn't include that. So that's something we can kind of do on the fly as documentation comes in, or you can add comments or whatever. But the other view that might be cool or might be helpful is the board view. This puts things in columns. So you can organize it and view it however you want, but it's the same concept where week 1, here's all of the items that are just for week 1. Here's all the items for week 2, all of the items for week 3, and you can scroll from left to right so you can kind of see. I don't know why that doesn't have a label. I will, let's see, add community. So that label should be like week 10, I think. Something like that. But anyway, so those are the kind of options. Hopefully this is better. At the end of the day, like if we need to move this into Teams or we need to move this into some other app, like that's fine. Like honestly, ToDoIst is so cheap. This is kind of just like a way to get organized, and then we can always populate something else if it makes sense later. I'm actually going to have some fun today. So I'm going to be done with this for now. And then what I'm going to do probably later today or tomorrow morning is I'll go into the 3 that we are transitioning right now, and I'll kind of adjust it based on this schedule. That way we have a little bit of a better handle on when stuff is due. And then this week, like there's definitely transition items that I did not finish. Just it is what it is. So in the SoHome admin area, I'm going to create association tasks, and I'll put, the label will be that. And then these are things that you can kind of just knock out as part of your, added to the hourly stuff. I think that's it for that. If you have any feedback though on this, let me know. It's one of those things where it's like, it's probably going to adjust to per association, but this really should get the bulk of it. I try to put in notes like, set up GL counts. This technically is an accounting services thing, but like I'll probably end up doing it because it takes 2 seconds, especially once we get the budget. So like, I can set up I can set them up first, and then I guess maybe what I'll do is I'll add a task here because we'll get the budget. Yeah, I guess we'll get the budget here. So maybe under the document request, I'm trying to think here. Yeah, current year budget. So I'll get all this stuff loaded. So there's obviously a little bit of things that need to be added, and maybe with current year budget, maybe when you get it, you can also send me a copy. I don't know. We'll work out that. But anyway, that's that.